Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Who the dickens can figure out baseball's early season surprises? From hard times to high times, suddenly it's the spring of hope in Milwaukee, home of great expectations. Shades of Oliver Twist in Cincinnati, where it was the best of times, then the worst of times. Now it's the season of light. The old curiosity shop recalls a moment from the past when an artful Dodger brought the Expos to a winter of despair. A Tale of Two Cities finds no mutual friend as the Dodgers and Giants rekindle an old affair. So let's have a pip of a time, one and all, right here on This Week in Baseball. Now in our second decade.
I watch This Week in Baseball because it brings me up to date on all the fantastic plays made throughout both leagues. This Week in Baseball gives me an opportunity to see myself on occasions.
American League surprise. In Milwaukee, times have certainly changed.
It's really funny. Last year at the ball club, it seems like we were losing all the close games. The one-run ball games, we weren't winning. We weren't getting the big hit when we need them. And this year, it's just a feeling of sitting out in the bullpen, hoping we've got a chance to be within a run or two going into the 8th and 9th inning, because it seems like we're finding a way to win.
We're playing really well, and we're playing together as a team, and, you know, we're just getting clutch performances by everybody.
We're feeling every time we go out, we expect to win now. We're not just hoping to win, and hopefully we can continue that throughout the whole year.
We're kind of the underdogs from the Midwest, and we're supposed to do too much. We're coming out playing pretty well, and we're also pretty good fellows. You know, I don't think we badmouth anybody, or I think we play pretty good brand of baseball, so I think it's very nice to be a nice story, and we enjoy it.
Teddy Higuera has figured mighty big in the Brewers' wondrous start. He wound up the month of April with a 4-0 record as Milwaukee won 18 of its first 20. Hey, no wonder this Teddy's near and dear to Brewer hearts.
Well, Teddy's our best pitcher, there's no doubt about that. He won 20 games last year on a ball club that was 7 games under 500, and I think he's the best left-hander in the American League. The National League, he's very comparable to Valenzuela. Similar pitchers, both of Mexican descent, both left-handed, and both winners, and the mainstay of our staff. And I tell you what, it's nice to be able to write his name in the lineup about every 5 days, because he's a very, very fine pitcher.
Reliever Dan Plesac's been fine and dandy since jumping from Double-A to the Brewers last year. With 7 saves, maybe now he'll make the Milwaukee who's who.
Well, I guess I'm not really a household name, and maybe it's probably working out for the better for my part. I had a fairly consistent year last year. I felt I threw the ball pretty well, and I've had a year under my belt now, and this year things have come a little easier for me. I feel relaxed. I know what my role is on the ball club now, and I pitched well up to this point, but I've got to do it for the rest of the summer.
Hey, how about that Rob Deere doing a number on enemy pitching this spring, leading the majors with 9 homers, 22 RBIs. But this star says he's just one in a cast of many.
I'm pleased with the start I've had, and everybody's hitting the ball real well. And, you know, when that happens, it makes it tough for the opposing pitchers, you know, to pitch around or to do different things. And, you know, they've got to pitch to everybody right now. And I'm not the only one swinging the bat real good. Everybody is. But it's, you know, I'm real pleased with my start.
Right now, the Brewers are just hoping to hang on, because you never know when a big lead can turn to Swiss cheese. Meanwhile, in the National League, early warning signs indicate a Reds revolt. The message in Cincinnati is clear. The Reds are getting rich quick, as if to say everything's going my way, running folks down in their chase for first place. In fact, the Reds are cornering the market on hitting, thanks in part to Cal Daniels. In his first full season, Cal's bashed opposing pitching for a .328 average, while sparking Cincinnati to the best in the league. The Reds' offense also means veteran power, like Dave Parker, who's bullish on nearly everyone. Most of all the Astros, who caved in under the weight of the Cobra's clout.
Goodbye. Parker has hit his second home run of the afternoon, and that is a bolt.
It's not just Reds' offense that's putting a jolt into the rest of the league. Consider pitching. Best ERA in the league and best numbers from Bill Gullickson. A spiffy 3-1 record, an ERA well below 2. Manager Pete Rose has also gotten sweet numbers from the bullpen. For John Franco, chairman of the relief board, 3 saves, not a single run. No wonder Rose figures he's got the perfect antidote for late rallies.
I think Johnny Franco is the best left-hand reliever in the league. Ron Robinson did a great job in 1986. Frankie Williams did a great job for Frisco in '86. And Rob Murphy pitched the second half of the season for us, 52 or 53 innings to give up 1 earned run. So I think lefty-righty, lefty-righty, I probably have more flexibility than any other relief corps as far as having 2 lefties and 2 righties, all with big experience and all coming off of tremendous years.
Question is, will Rose's Reds fulfill early promise? Now, let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's Twib Notes from around the majors. The Cubs' Andre Dawson had some kind of homecoming in Montreal, where he'd been an Expo hero for 11 years. On his return visit, Dawson sparked the Cubs to a 3-game sweep with 2 homers and 6 RBIs. 2 games later, Hawks swooped down on the Giants, going 5 for 5 and hitting for the cycle, the first of his career. Now, a short tale featuring Cardinal rookie Joe McGrain, manager Whitey Herzog, and character number 3, Ricky Horton. The Cards took 2 out of 3 from the Mets to move into first place. In one game, Horton put the finishing touches on McGrain's first Major League victory, which was also win number 1,000 for Herzog. And that's that for the White Rat. In Atlanta, the upstart Giants doubled their pleasure, taking 2 out of 3 from the Braves. In 3 games, San Francisco turned 13 double plays for a Major League record. Things only got worse for the Braves, who wanted to run and hide next night. With 2 more in the finale, they achieved the dubious honor of hitting into a record 15 double plays in 4 games. For Toronto's George Bell, there's no place like sweet home Chicago. Bell smacked 3 homers in 2 games against the White Sox, making it 9 career homers at Comiskey, where Bell's blasts have become a familiar sight. Witness this display 2 years ago.
Uh-oh, you can put this one on the board. Hung him a slider. That's up and on the roof.
Just in case anyone figured Bell's roof shot was a fluke, next game.
Uh-oh. You can put it on the board. A roof shot again for George Bell, and it's a 4-3 game. Mercy.
In that 4-game series, Bell hit 4 home runs, twice raising the roof. Boston's Don Baylor recently reached a milestone in a game against Oakland.
There it is. Line drive to left field, and Don Baylor has his 2,000th career hit.
Now in his 18th season, Baylor is still a sweet-stroking artist. Now, this week's quiz, brought to you by the 1988 Chevy full-size pickup. From the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy trucks. Cincinnati's Eric Davis had a streak he'd rather forget. In 2 games against the Astros, Davis set a Major League record by striking out 9 consecutive times. Now, can you name the player with the most strikeouts ever? You don't know, Pete? Well, just stay tuned for the Fall Guy. Now it's time to get on the ball with a roaring rivalry that's alive and well on the West Coast. The Dodgers and Giants have always been a model of intimacy, and nothing brought them closer together than a recent night in Candlestick Park when a 10th-inning game-winning homer by Mike Marshall prompted the latest chat.
Mike Marshall's running around the bases yelling at someone. Oh, he's yelling at Roger Craig because he walked Pedro. Look at that. Well, people do not forget those types of things. That's exactly right. You put it in your memory bank, and the rest takes care of itself.
In fact, the Giants took care of matters on the very next pitch. And all of a sudden, well, it seemed like old times. The story goes that the Dodger-Giant rivalry took root in the 1940s, when both teams flourished in Ebbets Field and the Polo Grounds, competing to be New York's best National League team. Nothing fired up the rivalry more than the shocking news in 1948 that the Dodgers' Leo Durocher would replace beloved Giants manager Mel Ott, the man about whom Durocher had uttered the immortal words, "Nice guys finish last." Well, there was nothing nice about Durocher, at least according to Giants fans.
It was obviously a big bombshell. Durocher, who was a Dodger, and we were not doing very well. We were, I guess, in 5th place at that time. The story they tell me is that Horace talked to Leo and got a hold of him, went up to his apartment.
I told him I couldn't accept the job. I says, "You've got a manager, Mel Ott." And he reached in his pocket and he took out a letter that Mel Ott had resigned 2 or 3 weeks previous. And we made the deal within 2 minutes. I was the manager of the Giants.
Well, he started out, I think, in Pittsburgh, and then we went over to Brooklyn. And Leo got a very loud boo from both sides, I guess. But we beat him that day.
The rivalry was the most pressing issue of the day. For the great feud between the Giants and the Bums was the lifeblood of New York baseball.
In those days, they played each other 22 times, 11 in each park, so you got to play quite often. But it created excitement. Magley against Jackie Robinson, Magley, whom they called a Bob, always giving you a close shave, would throw at Jackie's head, and the next moment Jackie would lay down a bunt towards first, hoping to draw Magley to the base so he can spike him or knock him over. Alvin Dark would run into third and crash into Jackie Robinson. It was always in constant turmoil and constant excitement.
The excitement reached its peak in 1951 when the rivals found themselves in the 3rd and final playoff game to decide the pennant. In the last of the ninth, 2 on, 2 out, the Giants trailing by 2 and coming to bat, Bobby Thompson.
Bobby hitting at .292. He's had a single and a double, and he drove in the Giants' first run with a long fly to center. Brooklyn leads it 4-2. 1 out, last of the ninth, back to throws. There's a long drive. I say me, I believe. The Giants won the pennant. 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 Bobby Thompson hits into the lower deck of the left field stand. The Giants won the pennant, and they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
At the time I made that swing, and lucky enough to hit the ball out of the park, and we won. I never thought they'd be talking about it years later. All it meant to me was that we beat the Dodgers, and I guess we had a rivalry that was second to none. At least they feel that way in New York.
When I saw the ball go in the stands, I thought, this game can't be over. We've got to have another chance. And I can remember Ralph Branca lying on the steps there in the polo grounds, and he had tears in his eyes, because a lot of the other ball players did too. It was by far the saddest moment I had in baseball, really.
In 1958, sadness fell over New York fans when the 2 teams left town and headed west. The Dodgers chose the sunny climes of Los Angeles, while the Giants moved to San Francisco. Naturally, the rivalry went with them.
Our rivalry was such that there really wasn't any hate involved as far as the players themselves were concerned. But we, as Dodgers, did not like the colors orange and black. And, you know, for me to end up as a Giant in 1964, and I looked down and see orange and black Giants across my chest, why, I felt uneasy in a Giant uniform. When we got on the road and said San Francisco, it wasn't too bad. But I think it boiled down to the fact that as I say, there wasn't any hate, that there was a lot of respect involved because there were some tremendous players on both teams.
The rivalry started way before we got to the ballpark. This is what a lot of people don't realize. I mean, you felt the tension when you arrived at the airport when you played that team, because even the sky caps at the airports, they was all wrapped up into the rivalry. So you start getting a taste of it then, and of course it carried over when you got to the hotel and naturally on over to the ballpark. So the tension was just there all the way.
The tension boiled over one famous Sunday in 1965 when Juan Marichal and Johnny Roseboro collided at Candlestick Park.
In this situation, Marichal he'd either knocked down Wills and hit fairly. I think that's the way it was. And we have a thing in baseball, you knock one of ours down, we got to get you, whoever it is, especially Marichal, because he was so good, we didn't like him. was all planned. We sat on the bench. We're going to buzz him. And when I threw the ball back by his nose, he said something like, "You better not hit me with that ball." I started after him.
It happened so quick that after that, I was very sorry about the whole thing, because I want the people to know that I'm not that type of guy that go out and have fight. And for many years, I tried to talk to Johnny, and we get together, and we become a close friend.
It was the Giants' power, and we used to sit out and watch them take batting practice because they were so awesome as power hitters. Their power against our speed, defense, and pitching. It was such a classic kind of a contrast. The games were emotional beyond belief. I remember the mornings I'd wake up before a Dodger-Giant game. I'd think about the game all day long from the moment I woke up. And when those games were over, I'd be absolutely drained. I never felt that way after a World Series game, never. In fact, I would just have to say that every Dodger-Giant game in those days was, in essence, a World Series game.
When you get up to the Giants, it's automatically put into you that you hate the Dodgers. There's no other team in baseball that I would rather beat than the Los Angeles Dodgers. If I was probably a New York Giant, there'd probably be no team that I'd rather beat more than the Brooklyn Dodgers.
No mere summer fling, the Dodger-Giant rivalry is still flourishing after all these years. Now, let's check out the answer to this week's quiz. Reggie Jackson, also known as Mr. October, recently hit career home run number 550. But going into the season, Jackson also struck out 2,500 times for the all-time Major League record. What's more, in playing with 4 different teams, Reggie has struck out 100 or more times in 18 of 21 seasons. Time now to throw some light on a pyrotechnic display of luminous leather. First up, Minnesota's Kent Hrbek. San Diego rookie James Steele. Minnesota's Steve Lombardozzi to Kent Hrbek. Kansas City's George Brett to Kevin Seitzer. The Mets' Keith Hernandez, over and out. The Cubs' Dave Martinez. Milwaukee's Dale Swain. The Rangers' Oddibe McDowell and Toronto's Lloyd Moseby. St. Louis Cardinals' Ozzie Smith. Barry Bonds, Pittsburgh Pirates. Bill Doran, Houston Astros. The Dodgers' Mike Scioscia. Stage right for Harold Reynolds, Seattle. Oakland's Dwayne Murphy. San Diego's Tony Gwynn. And finally, Baltimore's Rick Burleson, straight from out of the ozone. Hey now, what gives? Getting a head start on today's fun? Well, sit tight, prick up your ears, and most of all, keep on your toes. Because in this circus, anything goes. Now this, a balancing act that should split your side silly. Hold the laughs, though. That act's a bust. So how about a little upstaging from the Peanut Gallery? Ouch! Hey, fellas, let's keep the burlesque on the ball field. Now for the grand finale, an honest-to-goodness disappearing act. You see? It's up there. And tell me it still is. Now, this week in baseball's flashback, brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade is thirst aid for that deep-down body thirst. Welcome to the frosty climes of Montreal. Final game, 1981 National League playoffs, the Dodgers and Expos. The winner goes to Yankee Stadium for the World Series, but getting there was no small thing.
The temperature was around 19 degrees or whatever it was, and we had an extremely difficult game. And it was a low-scoring game. Fernando pitched well, and we had a situation where we had 2 outs, I think, in the ninth inning.
Indeed. Score tied, 2 outs in the ninth. Rick Monday at the plate, Steve Rogers in a rare relief role, and the Dodgers looking for their 17th pennant.
It's strange because Ron Cey had been the batter before I went to the plate, and he hit a ball to left field that I thought had a chance to get out of the ballpark when it first left the bat. It was caught on the warning track, and I remember it going to the plate, said, "You're going to have to hit it a ton to get it out of here today."
Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's swung on, fly ball, center field. Dawson going back onto the warning track. Dawson at the wall. That ball is a home run. That ball is out of here, and a home run for Rick Monday, and the Dodger bench clears to congratulate Rick Monday, who has hit a 2-out home run here in the ninth inning.
I really feel like I knew what I wanted to do with the pitch. Physically, I made a mistake, and you know, physical mistakes are part of the game.
I wanted to hit the ball out of the ballpark because, quite frankly, I was freezing my fanny off.
Monday's home run brought the Dodgers the pennant, and they went on to win their 5th World Series title. That's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.